Hello everyone, and welcome to my General Hospital official YouTube channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Cody was cleaning up stalls at the Quartermain stables when Sasha showed up prepared to work. Wearing a pair of crimson overalls, she was relieved that her appearance was no longer a concern. She claimed that no one was too good for the hard work, even though Cody told her that she looked way too lovely to be cleaning the stables. Sasha explained that she was seeking for a new purpose in life, and that she believed that being somewhere she was comfortable and happy would help her discover her inspiration, because Cody couldn't understand why she wanted to work in the stables. She thought back with nostalgia to her first horse ride and her horseback riding lessons while Cody and Sasha labored. What Cody anticipated from his post-deception future intrigued her. He assured her that he would do it and went back to his chores. Later, Sasha and Cody talked while sipping coffee. Sasha reminded Cody that he could be with his family if he only told Mac the truth, after Cody expressed how much he enjoyed the company of both James and Leo since they seemed like family. Cody acknowledged that it could be too much for him to take. He went on, "Horses are enough." When the topic of Cody and Sasha's relationship came up, she called him cold. In jest, he implied that she had come to that conclusion because he had not mistreated her. Sasha acknowledged that she preferred that they got along well and were at ease with one another. A little manhandling could also be entertaining, Cody hinted. Gregory was sitting on a bench next to the nurse's station when Tracy arrived at the hospital. He stated that he had an appointment with Dr. Kramer after she greeted him. Tracy acknowledged that she was there for a yearly wellness checkup with Dr. Randolph as well as blood work. Elizabeth arrived shortly after to collect Gregory. Gregory was reassured by Elizabeth that everything appeared normal after she had him placed into an examination room and taken his vital signs. She inquired about his well-being, but he wondered why he was worthy of a chief nurse's attention at a crowded hospital. With Grace, he clarified that he would rather keep his personal affairs and medical treatment apart. Elizabeth told him that she had never meant to offend him and apologized for overstepping. Gregory was grateful for Elizabeth's comprehension. "I'm grateful you told me," Elizabeth said. Not too long afterward, Dr. Kramer acknowledged that Gregory's dyspnea worried him. Gregory wanted to know if he would be well enough to go to his son's wedding the following month, but he reassured the doctor that it was manageable as long as he didn't push things. Despite not being a psychic, Dr. Kramer expressed his confidence that Gregory would be able to walk for the wedding on his own. Gregory switched gears, pleased, and wanted to talk about Finn. Gregory was reassured by Dr. Kramer that he would never disclose a patient's care with anybody else, not even another physician, without the patient's consent. Gregory felt a sense of relief. Gregory ran into Tracy after leaving the exam room. When she inquired about his appointment, he replied that in order for him to be well for Chase and Brooklyn's wedding, his doctor had advised rest, medicine, and continuous use of his CPAP machine. Tracy was pleased for Gregory and Alexis, since without him, Alexis would not have received an invitation to the wedding. Before Tracy's appointment with Dr. Randolph, she asked Gregory to grab coffee, which rapidly shifted the conversation. Gregory said no, as he had a lot of tests coming up. He acknowledged that while his ALS had only been a diagnosis at one point, it had since grown to be a full-time responsibility. Tracy argued that his identity went beyond his diagnosis. Tracy said he was academically stimulating, incredibly engaging, and a great conversationalist. Tracy continued, "And you're not bad to look at." Gregory laughed. You vixen," he uttered. Gregory turned to leave, and Tracy grinned. Soon after, Tracy went over to Stella's table at the neighborhood coffee shop after spotting her. Following their polite conversation, Tracy asked to go with Stella. Stella nodded, and Tracy took a seat. Before the discussion became more personal, and Stella revealed that Tracy knew everyone in town, they had a brief exchange about Blaze, a woman of color, being named the new face of deception. The majority, according to Tracy, were social acquaintances, which had never caused her mother any trouble, because Leela had always been kind to everyone. Tracy had few friends and even fewer serious relationships because, as she admitted, she was more like her father. Tracy admitted that Stella was unique and inquired as to how she managed to prevent sympathy for her suffering patients. Stella acknowledged that she wasn't always able to prevent it, but she wasn't going to allow those emotions to stop her from treating her patients like human beings, because they were more than the awful thing that was occurring to them. Tracy thanked Stella for the information, her voice full with emotion. She acknowledged that being handled irritated her friend more than anything else. Tracy admitted that she was also not fond of it. "I never would have guessed," a smiling Stella remarked. With a smile, Tracy inquired about Stella's thoughts on playing backgammon. Stella expressed her enthusiasm for it to Tracy and her confidence in her ability to defeat her. "You're on," stated Tracy. Dante walked back to his room at the hospital slowly, accompanied by Chase and Brooklyn. Dante lamented his sluggish recuperation as he went back to bed. He received assurances from Chase and Brooklyn that he was doing well, and that everyone had noted his improvement. According to Brooklyn, Dante took advantage of Chase's excitement at finding that he had woken up to express gratitude for Chase's support during Dante's coma. "You're my partner and my friend. Where else would I be?" Chase responded. Dante gave her a fist bump, and then they started talking about the wedding. Using the occasion, Chase and Brooklyn informed Dante of their decision to simplify, but they were hoping that Dante would accept their invitation to be a groomsman. Dante consented without hesitation, telling a nervous Brooklyn that he would regain his vigor so they could dance at the celebration. When Dante changed the subject to inquire about Chase's father, Chase replied that neither Gregory's appearance nor his candor on his recent medical visits had been outstanding. Brooklyn said that one of the few ways Gregory had self-control left was to keep his visits discreet. Brooklyn gently reminded Chase that Gregory simply wanted to be viewed as Chase's father, and not as an ill father in need of assistance, despite Chase's protests that he was family and only wanted to help. "Even from their loving family," she said, "everyone deserves their solitude." Dante informed Sam that he had been asked to be a groomsman when he arrived. Sam assured her that she and the kids would support him in strengthening his muscles. Sam offered to go with Dante on his morning stroll after Chase and Brooklyn left, but he informed her that he had already done so. Dante asked Sam why she was checking her phone and became preoccupied. She clarified that she had instructed the vice principal to send her a text message in the event that Danny missed school once more. Sam said, "So far, so good." She disagreed with Dante's suggestion that Sam had been too harsh on Danny. Sam revealed that she was not sure she could trust her son after Danny's previous bad decisions. Sam remarked, "I definitely can't trust his father." She went on to say that she had never felt more deceived than she did when Jason appeared out of the blue and requested their son to conceal things from her. Things had changed, she acknowledged, but she wasn't sure if Jason was different or if she was finally seeing him clearly. Elizabeth told Finn about her recent conversation with Gregory at his office. Finn came to the realization that everyone had crossed over the line when it came to his father. She concurred and said that Gregory might believe that they had determined it was time to take charge of his medical treatment without first consulting him. Elizabeth wasn't shocked when Finn admitted that he thought he hadn't done enough for his father. It was in his nature to believe that he ought to have done more. Finn revealed that he had spoken with a friend from his days, working with Doctors Without Borders over the phone. Finn clarified that while he had hoped his friend might assist with Gregory's case, it had also brought to light his sense of futility as a medical employee. Elizabeth acknowledged that because Jake was upset with Jason, she had also felt worthless. Finn pointed out that Jake had good reason to be frightened up by Jason's reappearance, but Elizabeth admitted that it went beyond that. She informed him about Jason's visit, which had been a complete train wreck. Finn inquired, how was it seeing Jason again? Otherwise, Elizabeth revealed that Jason had been evasive about everything, which had been weird and frustrating. Finn said that while he pondered how his previous relationships had ever been adequate for him, he felt a different way when thinking about Elizabeth. Finn remarked, "It's deeper." "It feels the same way," she said to him. She clarified that although she was happy that she had gotten it right with Finn, she questioned why she had ever settled for someone who was so limited in what they could or would reveal about themselves. To that moment, Chase and Brooklyn arrived to the office, seeking assistance to keep their wedding afloat. Later, while Finn was finishing off a call with Dr. Kramer, Chase, Brooklyn, and Elizabeth stood by. Finn revealed that Dr. Kramer had declined to provide any updates, thus he didn't have any on Gregory. It meant they would have to rely on Gregory for information, which infuriated Chase. Brooklyn changed the subject and said that they needed assistance returning their wedding to the previous schedule. Brooklyn was reassured by Finn and Elizabeth that they would assist. Gregory stormed into the office after Chase and Brooklyn had departed, telling his son that he did not want Finn discussing his case with Dr. Kramer. Finn pledged to honor his father's desires. Gregory assured that he was better, but he acknowledged that he had experienced a brief downturn when he was asked for an update. Gregory refused Elizabeth's offer to call Chase and Brooklyn back to the office so they could give him a ride home. Following Gregory's departure, Finn conceded that Elizabeth was correct. Finn said, "I need to take a step back." Chase asked Brooklyn about their honeymoon plans at the elevator. She reminded him that they were booked into an opulent hotel in Palm Springs, but Chase wondered if it was truly what she wanted. Since her family was covering the cost of the wedding, he pledged to give her the honeymoon of her dreams. Brooklyn reassured him that it would be ideal and maintained that she wanted the honeymoon in Palm Springs. Chase observed Brooklyn turn to leave. Chase remarked, "I can do better than perfect." Nina was shocked when Kristina paid her a visit at Crimson. Although Kristina was willing to acknowledge that Nina had taken an impetuous decision that had gone well beyond what Nina had planned, Kristina made it plain that she had not been happy with what Nina had done to Carly and Drew. "Yes, exactly," replied Nina. Joyfully, Kristina said, one poor choice hadn't undone everything Nina had done, especially with Sonny. When Kristina maintained that Nina had made Sonny happy, Nina was touched since she knew that he missed her. "I've always liked Nina," Kristina reassured her, and she wanted the best for Nina. The same was true for Nina and Kristina. Kristina smiled, confirming that Nina was pointing to her growing baby belly. Kristina was carrying TJ and Molly's child. "What an amazing, generous thing you're doing," Nina exclaimed. Kristina grinned, but cautioned Nina not to sanctify her just yet, since the most difficult thing had been keeping everything quiet aside from morning sickness. Admittedly, Kristina felt like shouting the news from the rooftops. "It's a baby," Kristina declared. Before long, Kristina made it clear that she had meant to say that she was expecting a niece or nephew. Nina speculated that Kristina's hormones were speaking. They heard a knock on the door at that very moment. Kristina went to the door and opened it after Nina said she had a meeting set. When she noticed Blaze and Maxie standing on the other side, she froze. Kristina entered the office and was hailed by Maxie. However, Blaze disregarded her and followed Maxie. Following Blaze's introduction to Nina, Maxie declared Blaze to be the new face of deception. Blaze was familiar to Nina from their Puerto Rican wedding. Nina pointed to Kristina and remarked, "So, you remember Kristina," acknowledging Blaze's presence. Blaze gave Kristina a courteous smile, but she made no attempt to acknowledge their relationship. Blaze was commended by Kristina for becoming the face of deception. Kristina exclaimed sharply, "I can really see it," and turned to leave. Blaze finished her visit with Nina later and departed. Nina wanted to know what had happened to Sasha, but Maxie reassured her that Blaze was exactly who she had presented herself as. Nina was informed about Sasha's resignation by Maxie. Maxie went back to Blaze, feeling that the time was right to grow their youth market, and Nina was relieved that Sasha had made the decision. Nina agreed with Maxie's suggestion, but she brought up another topic when she inquired as to whether Maxie needed to congratulate Sonny on being a great uncle. Maxie expressed her opinion that it was a horrible idea, particularly in light of the fact that Nina and Sonny's marriage had ended. "Not legally," countered Nina. Maxie warned Nina that reaching out to Sonny would make her appear desperate, despite Nina's best efforts to defend herself. On the defensive, Nina clarified that since she hadn't signed the divorce papers and had someone on the inside with Ava, she had reasons to hope for a reconciliation with Sonny. Maxie warned Nina not to expect Ava to stand up for her because she would be let down. Maxie wasn't convinced by Nina's insistence that she trusted Ava to look out for her best interests. "Any man you have to plot to get back is not a man you're going to keep," Maxie stated. Maxie acknowledged that she didn't like the person Nina had turned into after getting married to Sonny. "The Nina I know was erased by Mrs. Corinthos," Maxie replied. She acknowledged missing the previous Nina. Dante was greeted by Kristina with a tender hug at the hospital. Stella dropped by to tell Dante he was heading home while Sam and her were conversing. Kristina informed her brother that Sonny held himself responsible for Dante's shooting after Sam and Stella had departed. She inquired as to Dante's thoughts on Ava living with Sonny after he pledged to spend more time with their father. Dante acknowledged that it was strange. Kristina concurred. Sam came back a little while later. Sam inquired about having walked in on something after Kristina departed because she had sensed something from her. Dent clarified that Ava was still residing with Sonny and that Kristina had expressed worry for him. Sam admitted it was strange. Dante saw Sam checking her phone later. Admitting that she had received a text message from her mother, she checked to make sure it wasn't the school. Sam reminded Dante that Danny always found a way to accomplish his goals whenever he set his mind to them. Dante advised Sam to reach a compromise, but she was adamant about keeping Danny safe and away from Jason. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and don't miss any updates.